Do you remember the episode number?
200.
Yes.
Yes. Hello and welcome to PvP, episode 100.
No, we've literally just said it.
Hello, welcome back to PvP. What's going on with
the
that
PvP podcast.
Hello. Hello, welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 100.
No, it's episode 200. You've got one job.
Hello, welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 200. And I am joined by a man who was disappointed with his new pedometer as it kept going ballistic in his local church. Turns out he bought a pedometer.
That's a good joke.
Okay, that's fine. Right. It's only Callum Povey. Hello.
Hello. It's weird.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm
on the other receiving end.
I am. I should have swapped the boxes over.
Oh, right. So you'd be over here.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
that side
Oh, fuck.
because it's mirrored.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's weird. But this is the Big D takeover. There you are. You got your own little lower thirds and some confetti. Big D in the house.
Please don't call me that.
Big D dog.
Yeah, it's not okay. I don't like it, and I'd rather no one call me that ever again, if honest. Mainly because it's not true. It would be representative of something that's definitely not real.
I mean, it is real. Like, you are Big D. You're a big, tall Dan. But
Yeah.
what people may suspect it is...
No. There's no point in. No, that's just the width, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's really small.
Yeah. But it's just, you can, fill a letterbox with it.
Which he does regularly.
I don't know why that came to mind. It was just like a square, or like one of those things you put in like a toaster oven. You just sort of bloop, just plop it in.
It's like, not only is Dan's knob massive in width, but it's also like a phone book and a toasty.
Yeah. You just
Why not?
slap it in there. You got to.
And that's how kids were made. Anyway, yeah.
I've got some news for you.
Oh, have you?
My little pickle.
Oh.
So, we got a couple of things that we want to talk about. Honestly, I was having to dig around on the old internet just to see if there was any cool breaking stories or anything like that. Not really.
Bit of slow week, I imagine.
Yeah, kind of a slow week, which is typical because I've only done 4 of these, and I don't remember anything like dramatic or exceptional being a part of any of the other ones either.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember any, but I'm pretty sure one of them there was quite a big thing. It just happened, and I think it was on the day we recorded, and you were just like, well, we scrapped what we was going to talk about because this has happened.
I think I might know what it is, but I think or it might have just been another podcast that I just brought it up on. I don't remember.
Honestly, can't remember.
It could have been when Patrick Stewart came out on stage in something and announced that he was going to make he was going to come back as Jean-Luc Picard in some sort of Star Trek show.
Potentially.
It might have been. But if you're so curious, then you can go and have a look at those. That's 150, 100, and number 50 on www.podcastversusplayer.com. So you can go and have a look at those if you'd like.
And the rest as well. Look at the ones I've done as well. Don't just look at his.
No. I've got the best jokes.
Stealing my formula.
This is... I did see this, and it was more just sort of like, it kind of felt like a bit more like a fluff piece more than anything, really. But I just thought it was quite interesting, really. And it brought up a thing that I wanted to ask you about. So this is from IGN, the big dogs themselves.
Boo.
So a factory-sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers has sold for over $2 million.
I did see this on Instagram.
Obviously. Which is the most ever paid for a video game.
I do want to point out as well, I did try and not see things. So I purposely didn't go on like the various news sites that I'd normally go on every single day just to see what's happening. I have been on Instagram and Twitter though, so I have seen a couple of things, but I haven't clicked into them for the most part.
No, but I just thought it was really quite fascinating that
loads.
But at the same time, it's a game that's completely unplayable. Like you could never open that You would have to keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean the game.
Yeah, I was going to say like,
no, but like that as an item is just like someone isn't buying it for $2 million because oh my god, it's the only one ever made, and I really want to play that.
Yeah.
They're just going, oh, I want ownership of that now, and I can put it on my shelf or in my vault, and then eventually they'll get bored of it or lose some money or whatever, and then they have to sell it and someone else buy it. So it's this one copy of a game that's just trading hands.
Yeah.
And I see it like candles, right? Because candles,
they don't burn as well.
People, no, they don't.
It stinks.
But you buy a candle either for someone or for yourself, maybe, and yet there's like I'd say probably like 80-90%, not fact checked, of all candles in the world aren't lit ever. Like you buy a candle and you just keep it on a table, or it's a nice thing on a shelf or something like that.
What's the point of a candle?
Precisely. I like candles in the sense of like a nice scented candle, like a Yankee candle, like a vanilla cheesecake Yankee candle or something like that. Get out. But having one of these things in a jar, I used to have a massive one on this thing here. I used to like that every now and then because that's the point. It releases the aroma into the air. So I just don't understand why you just want to keep a thing on a shelf.
See,
which is a very hypocritical thing to say because I've got about 4 of them in the living room that I haven't lit or done anything with yet.
That's because you never go in the living room.
Also true. I never need to set the mood.
But I'm the opposite. I think candles are pointless other than emergency situations where the electric's gone. Yeah, so you light a candle. But, like, kind of irrelevant, but when my sister got married... we bought her, like me and Zoe bought her and her husband my sister's husband, not Zoe's husband. I bought myself.
Yeah.
We bought them this Yankee candle, like a special bride and groom Yankee candle, which I was against because it was quite expensive. I'm like, I spent how much money on a fucking candle? And anyway,
something that you literally set on fire.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something they can keep. Like, well, I mean, they can keep it, obviously. But
then, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That just brings us to the point of, well, why we buy it if you're not going to light it? But anyway, we went to the do and everything, and it was in the car, and I gave my nan a lift home, and I was going back to the car, and I went, oh, fucking hell, I didn't give my sister that bloody candle. So I knew my sister was going to my nan's the next day, so I ran to the car, got in the boot, got it out, and I gave it to my nan, and I said, when Rach comes tomorrow, can you give her this? My nan took it off me and stuff. Said bye, gone. Text my sister, said, yeah, yours and Shane's wedding presents at Nan's house. She's like, cool. Next day, my sister rang me and she was like, what did you get us? I went, well, to open it. She went, well, I want to, but I think Nan's opened it. I was like, what do you mean? and
she was just like, a present?
Yeah.
Must be for me then.
Literally, when my sister got there, she was like, have a look what Callum bought me.
Really?
Yeah. And like Rachel's picked it up and read the thing, and it's like a poem about like marriage and stuff. And Rachel's like,
are you sure?
Pretty sure this isn't for you. She went, it is. He gave it to me yesterday.
So as soon as you just hand something to her, she's like, well, it's mine now.
Oh, I mean, my nan's deaf, so obviously she hadn't heard. She's
an idiot, though.
I mean... but we're not talking, so I can say what I want. She never listens to this.
Well, she can't listen to it anyway.
Yeah, she's deaf.
It's fine.
But yeah, so that's the where else are going? Yeah, so I was against spending a lot of money on a stupid candle in the first place, and Zoe's argument was because I said like they're just going to set it on fire. So I don't want to give somebody a gift and they set it on fire. And Zoe's like,
give them fireworks if that was the case.
Yeah, I'll just give them some matches. But they, so it's like, happy marriage. Not only are they useful, but it's a fun toy as well.
Yeah, the kitchen safe.
Yeah, if
some of those like long ones to light the gas with.
Yeah, I'm not a monster.
We all live in the 1950s.
Exactly. I've got a kettle that whistles to me to tell me that it's finished. But no, Zoe's like, well, no, because they don't have to light it. And so why get them a candle if they're not going to light it? And yeah, that's my argument.
That's the candle paradox, in my opinion, because it's not like... I mean, it does replace itself to a degree, but not not fully, and the
like a
wicks gone
symbiote
by that point anyway. No, I mean, like if you like the Yankee candles that you get in a jar, like they melt down obviously, but there's still some wax left over.
Yeah, I will say, sorry, it's very. Have you ever watched a candle get made?
Like with the constant dipping and dipping and dipping. Yeah, it's very satisfying, isn't it?
I watched a time-lapse video of like it was a big honking candle. It was fucking, like, you could probably sit on it if you wanted. Not while it was lit, but... I was watching that. It was like a time-lapse video happening, and I was like, man, this is really, like you say, it's very satisfying to watch. But
yeah, because it's just like start with the wick and then just dip and just
really
keep
cool.
on doing that for just hours and hours and hours.
I think it's just like, because of how expensive they are. That's what annoys me.
Yeah, and this is it. So like you buy a thing that you know that someone isn't going to use. It's like buying someone it's kind of a lot of things like that really bug me. Like fancy plates.
Yeah.
Like someone's got like a fancy china set, like something they either bought when they were getting married, or someone bought it for them when they were getting married.
Sorry.
And then it would just be displayed, and then you never use it.
No.
Like you'd never put your roast spuds in it, and just. So then why buy it? Just decorative plates. I'll buy you a fucking painting of plates, because then at least you can't use them and choose not to. You just put it up on the wall.
Remember my? Do you remember all the plates my granddad had in that cabinet?
Mate,
I know it was a long time ago.
20 years ago. I have no idea.
Where my granddad had like his chair where he sat, and then like to the side of that we had a big cabinet, and they wasn't his, they were my nan's, but obviously when my nan died, he wasn't going to go, finally we can get rid of all these fucking plates.
Was it to the left, like dark wood?
No, it was like a more like a pine, sort of layout, but it was like the full that part of the wall. It was like a full width up to the fireplace, and all these like commemorative plates and ornaments and shit on there. And I say they were all my nan's and stuff, and some of them I imagine were gifts and stuff for both of them. Anyway, I got fucking bollocksed. I'd been out, got drunk, and up until my granddad died, I always, before bed, I'd always go down and be like, night mate, and I'd give him a kiss on the head. And it was just something we always did. And I'm lying on my bed just fucking spinning. Like, Rachel, she's like, you're gonna have to go say night to granddad, otherwise he's gonna think something's fucking wrong. I'm like, yeah, don't you fucking worry. Go fucking downstairs. Like, night mate. And then I could see him, and I've gone to kiss him, but my vision was that bad. I've just gone straight into the fucking cabinet. All the fucking plates have come down. Fucking hell, did I get a beating?
But that's the thing. They're nothing but a risk.
Yeah, it's just dangerous.
Your normal dinner plates, you break one of those, you go, oh fucking hell. It's all right though. I'll just buy another one. But if it's this like cherished, oh my god, it's like this perfect plate that's been handed down for 8 generations. If this plate is genuinely valuable and worth a lot, one, don't put it on display.
No.
Because it's going to get knocked over.
I mean,
it's going to get dusty.
Fucking fireproof safe.
Yeah, I'd take it to a bank where they've got one of those like safe deposit boxes. Like, put it in there and they can take care of it. Because if they get blown up or whatever, at least I'll get the money back from the insurance payout.
Insured, yeah.
That's a reasonable thing. But to just have it's like buying someone a set of towels and go, oh, they're lovely, but they'll be just display towels. We won't use those. We won't wash our hands or the plates or something with them or clothes. But it's just
these are just the best. Did you have that when you were little?
What?
Like trainers and stuff. Like, you can't wear them out. These are only for best. So you couldn't go out and play or anything. Oh, I had a.
I didn't really go out and play anyway. I was a nerd, mate. I played video games.
I was always up a tree somewhere. Probably hide it from my granddad because I broke all his plates. But
it's just throwing dishes at you. Get out of there, you fucker.
But no, like, we always had stuff that we go shopping and we're like, I need some new trainers, and then we'd get some new trainers. We weren't allowed to wear them. It's like,
but these cost a lot of money. Well, then just buy me some cheap ones that I can wear every day.
So I go, which ones do you want? And I go, I'll have them. Don't just say yes if you're not going to let me wear them. Go, no, they're too expensive. You can have these fucking sandals.
Yeah, but the things that you'd use trainers for, so like playing tennis or going for a run or something like that, you can't do any of that.
Yeah, couldn't do that. No. I had a pair of. It was back before I gave a shit about what I wanted to wear, really. And from a very young age, I've never wore like Nike or Adidas or stuff like that. I've always been like Vans and Converse and Etnies, stuff like that. But when I
was about to make a point of like, that's sensible brands, unnecessary. They still do the same job, and you just went from I don't like these brands, but these brands, these ones are exclusively.
Don't get me wrong. Now I'm not like that, and ironically, I actually bought some Adidas trainers for myself for Christmas, but they were special editions. But back in the day, didn't really care. And I had these Adidas trainers.
But you haven't put them up on a shelf on the wall, though, have you?
He may as well have done. You know, when I was allowed to wear them, I could wear them for, like, if we went to, like, somebody's birthday or something like that, I was allowed to wear them. And, like, non-uniform day. And I think that was basically
so you could wear them on carpet and probably, like, lino or wood floor.
Yeah. But I couldn't go play football or anything in them. And I'm pretty sure he only let me wear them then, just so he went, look how much fucking money I spend on the kids.
But then he might as well have just got you some like feeler trainers and then just put like a skin over the top. You could just pretend.
I used to have this Kappa jacket that I fucking loved, and it was fucking horrible. It was like black with like neon fucking yellow print up the arms. It was fucking horrible, but I loved it. No green, sorry,
they
not
made
yellow.
Like a big comeback though, didn't they? It was like Skoda when Skoda were just sort of like boo, everyone's Skoda, boo, terrible. And then like there was like the Skoda resurgence, and it's just like actually Skodas make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
like you get an Uber in Manchester, odds are a Skoda Octavia's pulling up outside to get you.
Skodas have got like it is mostly because of the unreliability of the old cars, but I think anything after 2000 is probably one of the most reliable cars.
Yeah, they're just a decent little motor.
And the parts are dead cheap as well, so they're good repairs on that. Anyway, but this isn't fucking Top Gear.
The thing is, though, like maybe is that the exception to the rule then? Like a fancy
Skoda?
car? No, not Skoda. like if you. I suppose if you can buy like a Lamborghini or something like that, odds are you've probably got money to repair it if you just get dinked or whatever, and you'd want to show off in it. But if someone gifted you like an Aston Martin and they just said, "Oh, you won it on a scratch card," I bet you would never take that car out because you'd be like, if this thing gets damaged or you lose a wing mirror,
it's not just
going to be
that,
$6,000 to replace it.
It's also dependent on the car. So my insurance is going to go up a fucking shit ton. Fuel's going to be a lot more expensive. Tax is going to be a lot more expensive. So it's just a case of
you don't have to worry about fuel. You don't have to worry about tax. You don't have to worry about an MOT because you're just going to keep it on the driveway.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be able to afford to run this car, so I'd have to just leave it. So,
that's fine, because then you could just do that thing that Joey does, where it's just sort of like it's always just polishing his car. Like, I'll take her out for a run in a bit. Yeah,
and it gets replaced with boxes.
Well, that's when the bank comes to take your house and your car. Yeah.
Well, I suppose because I mean, like, there's quite a lot of people who live where I live who they do collect like old vintage cars. And like you'll see them all out on a Sunday because it's the only day of the week they're allowed to drive it or something. But like I actually knew a guy who had I can't remember what the car was. It wasn't that expensive. It was like a Subaru Impreza or something like that. But he could only afford to insure it on the weekend. So like Monday to Friday, he drove around in like a Fiesta or something like that. And then at the weekend, he'd drive his Scooby because the insurance was so much on it.
Got his big boy car.
Yeah. But as someone who's gone through like 6 cars in 2 years,
the car and then just offset the difference for the insurance for the Impreza.
I don't even know what job he had. This was fucking years ago, so I couldn't tell you the ins and outs.
I'm not going to get into the weird economic mind of someone that you barely knew.
Going off on basically what we're saying, like on about like brands don't matter. Like these pair of trainers do exactly the same as these pair of trainers for a lot less. As someone who's gone through like 5 or 6 cars in 2 years, it definitely pays. Just get a good car. Just get a good car.
A good car.
That's it.
Something reliable.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a club and you want your £463 little bag or whatever that you can fit a box of matches in, and that's pretty much it. Your drinks token. Take a carrier bag.
Yeah.
Or a bag for life. It costs 20p. Nothing's getting out of there. You can fit everything you want in it. I mean, fair enough, you probably get some odd looks, but you just go, I'm the sensible one.
Yeah,
like, not
you're
only
all
I've
idiots.
got my stuff in here, I could put all of your stuff in here as well.
Genius.
Yeah, you'd never find it again.
And it's a Waitrose bag, so it costs more than yours anyway.
Ooh, if it was a Waitrose one, then you'd be getting... People would be like,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Got some money.
Yeah, got money there. Like, because when people have got those, like, tiny little... Like, I don't really like materialism at all, generally, anyway. Like, you know me, I don't buy things because I want a thing.
Yeah.
I buy a thing to replace a thing that's broken, and that's pretty much all I spend money on. And, like, there's someone I used to date forever ago, and she, like, her mindset has very much changed now, which I'm very pleased about. And I'd like to think I had some sort of contribution towards that. But it was just sort of like, well, this ring's like 700 quid, and it's like, and like these bags, and it was just all materialism. And I was just like, but none of it has a purpose. Yeah. None of it. Like that bag, you can barely use it as a bag. It's nothing. It's just an accessory for you. Yeah. It's your personality accessory. That's all it is. Same as the rings. And I don't know about you. I don't want to speak on behalf of all men. I certainly don't want to speak on behalf of all women either. But like when someone's got like, nice like jewelry, and they put like a huge amount of effort in, and there's like brandings and everything's matching and things like that. Do you ever notice that?
I notice that a lot of the time they look fucking stupid.
But, well, I'm just thinking that, like women are very good at sort of spotting and go, oh, you've got that's a new shirt or whatever, and like I hear it like at work and stuff. People will pick up and go, oh, if you just had your hair done. A haircut, probably I'll notice if you've just lost like 3 feet off it. Yeah. I'll notice that for sure. But like when someone's gone and had their eyebrows done, or something like that. I don't know if it's just because I'm not particularly observant person. I'd like to think it's because I don't care about your facade
it's not so much the looks.
Coolness or whatever. Yeah. But I genuinely don't notice. If someone has really put the effort in to look nice for me, I bet you anything I wouldn't notice at all.
The only things I am against, I'm happy to spend the money on.
Something went wrong.
Do you mind? It's a Google Home Hub to replace this stupid thing.
Yeah, I tell you what, my Home Hub doesn't just talk to me randomly.
just ignores you. It's like, fucking hell, this guy again. But like, is stuff like this. So, case in point, I'm happy to spend the money, and they've obviously you can only see this bit, but everything here cost a lot of money. However. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff I also waited and went, there's £40 off that. Now it's only 300 quid, so I'll get
Sensible.
that. But
shopping.
Yeah, just like I will shop around, but I'm also happy to pay for quality because it's getting use out of it, and some instances money and whatnot. But what I don't like, a couple of weeks ago, I went to do. I helped someone put a PC together for their kid, and through the stuff, and they're like, this is like yours, and no, this is nothing like mine. Don't kid yourself, mate. And I'm happy. I will happily laud stuff like that's the wrong terminology. Like they said, like how much was your setup, and I went, far too much for what you need. Like you don't need to spend this kind of money on it. And
well, no, I think I'm the same. Like, I'll actively try and talk, so especially when it comes to like, because I'm not as au fait with things as you probably are. But if someone says, I'm just going to buy this, like my mate, you know about him, but he bought this beautiful but ridiculous monitor.
Fucking bonkers.
It's like I don't know how big is it. It's like fucking 60 odd inch or whatever.
I'm sure it was 50 or 55. I'm sure
it's ridiculous.
Too big.
It's
too big.
It's enormous, this thing. And when you sit, and I tried desperately to talk him out of it. I was just like, just buy 2 monitors that are just the same. Like, then you've got multifunctionality with them as well. You haven't got to just sort of like stretch things out on one and whatever. And the first time I went around to see it, I was like, yeah, it looks alright, doesn't it? like we loaded up like Microsoft Flight Simulator and stuff, and you could like see the cockpit and then out the windows as well. And I was like, God damn it, that's It's really quite good, isn't it? But it's still unnecessary. I mean, if you've got the money for it, fucking go for it. But, no one stop you. Yeah. But if you know what you're going to be using it for, then just be sensible. Don't be too. Don't go and buy a copy of Super Mario Brothers, a game that will run on your fucking phone for free for $2 million. But interestingly, though, a few months before that, there was another copy of Super Mario Brothers that was sold for $660,000. So that was actually like a record-breaking amount. And then, like a few months later, someone's like found this like perfectly from the factory sealed, and that was like the most perfect version. It's like $2 million. And then there was a copy of Legend of Zelda that was $870,000. And then a week later, a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 broke the record with $156 million. So, like, literally, just like these, one's gone up, and then it's just like broke records and gone, oh my god, look how expensive this is. And then within a week, another one's come up and just doubled it. This
is what I was saying the other week when you were on about you wanted to get a Switch. And you were complaining that the games were so expensive, like Nintendo games hold their value.
If you don't
150 million.
If I bought a Switch and every game for the Switch and then never unboxed any of them and put them in a secret vault in the bank, I'm sure in 60 years' time you could get, buy a house with what it's worth. But if I'm buying it now, I want to play it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
What is the point? Like, I mean, I won't mock anyone's hobbies and stuff like that. Like people like Warhammer and people like Magic the Gathering.
So they spend huge amounts on that,
but those people are buying the painting the models and whether they play the game or not. They do the model, they play the game, whatever. Logan's got into Pokemon cards, so we're collecting them in a minute, and it's fun filling up his folders and stuff. He's on to his second folder now. But if you're not going to play it, what's the point? Like, could you have a video game collection of sealed games in your house?
I have one sealed game, I believe, which is a PlayStation 3 Roman fighting game or something like that. Oh, no, it's a lie. No, it wasn't sealed. But I obviously only work with digital media these days anyway, but if I went and bought a physical copy of something, it wouldn't be to keep it and not do anything with it.
That's what I mean. I even comics and stuff. Like, I've got a it used to be on this wall right above here, but I took it down. But I've got a framed copy of the first ever appearance of Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, and a like mint condition copy of that is worth like $250,000 or something like that. Mine's worth like 15 quid because it's a reprint, but the frame that I bought for it very handily hides the reprint. There's a banner across the top of the comic, so it just looks really cool. But I think I bid for it on eBay. I think I maybe spent like £7 or £8 or something like that on it. But I only wanted it to put it in a frame, just because it's still cool. That's the first appearance of Spider-Man.
I bought a Punisher comic that I think was about 70 quid, I think. I can't remember exactly how much. This was years ago. But when that arrived, do you know what the first thing I did when that comic arrived?
Read it.
Yeah. I opened it and read it. Like, it wasn't in like a hermetically sealed bag or something. It was just in like a comic slip, see-through thing. I was careful, I'll be honest. Like, I wash my hands first because I was like, I don't want just like.
Yeah, but you should anyway.
Exactly.
Like, regardless, just looking after books and comics and stuff.
Exactly. That's just proper maintenance. That's okay. Yeah. I haven't let anyone else touch it, obviously, for obvious reasons, because I don't know. I was like, wash your hands and then come back and let you examine your hands. Then you can have a look at it. But I didn't just go, oh god, that thing, that's fine. Right, well, what's next? Like, at least with like some comic collectors, they'll buy the expensive version, so they'll buy that original Spider-Man, and then they'll buy the reprint to actually read through and go.
Yeah, like, a lot of people buy doubles.
What's in that? And you go, oh, this is just like a 15 quid copy, so you can have a look through it.
We had
which makes sense, but for video games, it just seems like it's a status thing. Yeah, it's just sort of like, I own the most expensive video game in the world.
Well, this is what annoyed me.
I say that though. Do you remember? What's the not GTA?
Saints Row.
Saints Row. So Saints Row 4, I think there was a Saints Row 4, like the Millionaire package or something like that, which cost $1 million.
Yeah, I do remember.
And it came with the game, and it had like cosmetic surgery and a car and like all these like crazy things. I don't know if they ever sold that package, but if they did, surely that would be the most spent on a video game. Or would it count as like all the stuff?
Well, I don't know, because
you get with it.
Are we adding like? Because how much is like a World of Warcraft subscription? Because I bet some of them are going into like into the thousands and stuff.
Well, people sell accounts.
That's what I mean. So
they'll max out a character and then sell that off. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever the highest World of Warcraft.
Well, Star Citizen, they sell ships.
Yeah.
You can the ships for tens of thousands of pounds for these, like, just fleets of ships. And again, that's digital, so you can actually use it, and it's not like a big deal if someone sees it. Like, we were playing GTA the other day. I bought a little treat for us. But we didn't go, well, we better not use it, though, because it's very expensive, and, you know, we don't want to... The first thing we did was we just spent half an hour pissing about in it. Because that's the point
of it.
I just don't get it. I mean, I thought it was just an interesting piece of news, but I was just sort of like, It kind of bugged me in a way. But what I wanted to ask you, though, is, firstly, I know that obviously you've got a few sort of like... I know that you bought, I think, a comic, probably an X-Men comic, I think, for... It was the day Logan was born or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of those that you may have that you've sort of got. Oh, I don't really want to do anything with that, so I'll keep that to one side.
Yeah, they're put away safe.
Yeah, but is there anything that you have that has a purpose, like an actual function that it can do, that you don't do anything with because you don't want to ruin it?
My penis.
So we'll leave that there. That's fine.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you later.
I'm moving on from that. That's fine. So a few weeks ago, but I don't think we mentioned it in the last podcast, though, Callum. There was a new trailer for Stranger Things. Season 4 of Stranger Things has come out.
Yes. Trailer, not the season.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's annoyingly, it's been pushed back again. COVID, pandemic, blah blah blah. But that's been pushed back to next year, which is annoying. But there's no date either way with it, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But what do you think? From
the very brief stuff that we've seen,
it's a teaser more than anything.
It looks Stranger Things, and I'm pretty sure some of the scenes we see in the teaser are from previous seasons as well. I don't think it's all new footage.
No, it'll be like, like when there's a recap, and it'll recap a specific thing that was said or done. It's like, okay, so that's going to come back in this episode, then, isn't it? I'm not a fan of that. It just feels like you're just pointing me in the direction of something going to happen.
I'm fine with it, dependent on the show. So, like, something like Arrow, for example, because Arrow's a massive fucking thingy for it.
They were the worst for doing that. Yeah, like, it'd be like, remember this guy from 2 seasons ago? Yeah. Here's a clip of him, and you're like, oh, so he's just going to be in it now, is he?
So you know exactly that, instantly they're going to be in the episode, and it's never like 4 episodes ago this guy said this thing that's going to be important, so we'll just remind you that they said that. It's like you say, it's always someone that hasn't been in it for fucking years, and then it's all... and that annoys me. Stranger Things doesn't annoy me.
Or when they do, like, the actors' characters. So the actor's name in the credits, and then it'd be like, oh, and guest starring Pete Bronson.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, well, I haven't seen him yet, so...
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
You could just put that in at the end.
It annoys me. It's the same with, like, whenever I'm watching a film that's got, like... Because I actively try and sort of stay away from, like, anything to do with a film that I'm interested in, because I want to go in fresh, and I want to enjoy it without my sort of impression of it being tainted by either like someone's opinion of it or a certain thing that I'm expecting to happen in it or whatever. But whenever I'm watching a film, like a Tarantino film, say, and they always do like the thing at the start, either when it's like the actors in it are like overplaying, and like a lot of TV shows do it as well. But whenever there's like a name that I recognise that comes up, and I'm like, fucking hell, why did I just, because it was like there'd be nothing and you'd be watching it and then it would come up and I'd look down and go, fuck me. Like, that's just spoiled that person's in it now.
What's worse with that though is they've purposely changed the opening credit to that episode to put it in. It's like, just put it at the end.
Put it at the end.
Put it at the fucking end.
If it's a surprise like cameo or like a special guest, like it's either like playing an old character that hasn't been in forever, or it's just someone really famous who's big into the show and then they want to come on for whatever reason. Why spoil it before they've even been on screen?
But it's always things that aren't like, I don't give a shit if fucking Merlin's back. I don't know. I haven't watched Arrow for years, so I don't know who's in it and who's not in it. But like, if in Picard, when 7 and 9 shows up, can you imagine if the beginning of that is where Jerry Ryan, oh, fuck's sake.
Well, like, I don't have a problem, especially like Netflix and Amazon shows and stuff like that, where they are tailor-made, where they have like their sort of like their specific like opening credits thing, like the intro, and you can skip that. So if they go, oh, and Jerry Ryan's going to be in this episode, and they put that in the intro, doesn't matter, because no one's going to sit there and watch it past the first episode. They'll watch it and go, that's a cool little intro.
I don't need to
watch it 8 more times though.
With the exception of Stranger Things. Stranger Things or Daredevil, I always used to watch. No, Daredevil. Not Daredevil. I can't remember. It was one of the Marvel ones, and I really liked the intro. And I never skipped it.
Luke Cage had a pretty banging one.
I skipped most of Luke Cage, to be honest. But,
right.
Anyway.
Yeah, so like it's that sort of stuff that really bugs me, because it's just like, why say it? Like, Star Trek is actually pretty good at it, because like in Next Generation, there's a lot of people like famous, maybe not even famous at that point, but usually their names won't be like, so if there's like a big new character or a new whatever, odds are they're probably going to be in the episode in some way or another before the intro starts. But again, when you skip that intro, you go into the main thing, and then it's still playing like some
names and stuff. And
it's just like, as long as you've shown that person already, I don't mind it, because then it's just sort of like, oh, and that person's in it as well. Like, I sent you pictures of me watching Star Trek all the time, but it's usually like when there's a famous actor that's in it, that's like Famke Jensen's in this one. Here's Ray Wise, but like, when I sent you that picture, like I'm just thinking of that Ray Wise one straight away, because when his name's on screen, so's he. Because
it makes sense.
The episode had started with him and his kid talking about whatever.
Yeah.
So like whenever like Q is in it, the Q will always, I want to say always, he'll be in the episode at the start of that.
Yeah.
Before his name will appear in the credit.
Floating on.
Yeah, I think so. That could be wrong, but I don't know. Not to memory, anyway. At least not that it's bothered me to the point where I want to talk about it. But regardless of that, though, Stranger Things.
Yes.
Obviously, it's been a couple of years since we've actually had season 3 of Stranger Things, which was possibly the... It's been a while since I've seen them all sort of back to back, but I think that I probably enjoyed 3 more than the other 2, like as an overall whole.
I don't know about that. I think it was definitely more solid, but...
I think it's just because they had like their own little adventures. Like, so they were all paired up and they were doing their own thing rather than just as like one big ensemble thing. But yeah, coming back into that next year, very excited.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Very excited for some more Stranger Things, especially as most of the people in that have actually gone on and had like super successful careers because of that show.
Some of them have. Most of them have been typecast into doing 80s stuff, but no, I love Strange Things. I think it's the only thing that annoys me with Strange Things is it's like really popularized synthwave, and obviously you know me, I love my 80s, I love my synthwave, and I'm sick to fucking death of everybody in the fucking nan. Just like, I fucking love retro. It's not retro, it's synthwave.
Yeah, it's still very much present.
But upon saying that, I'm really looking forward to it, but I don't want it to lose the magic. Like, there's something really cool about watching a show like Stranger Things where you just kind of you get sucked into the world, and like I care about even the characters I don't like. I care about, and it's I've got a feeling we've had 3 good ones, like we've had 3 real good seasons. Is this going to be the stinker? And they're not kids anymore; they're all grown up.
They're not. They are. So I mean, you can't really have a reason for them all to sleep over and stuff, because now it's just getting a little bit weird.
Yeah. Or maybe not weird, but then you want to look at it.
Maybe not weird.
Maybe it's about time I got this out.
But it's still going to be in the 80s, so I don't think they'd be doing that.
No, I mean, it's going to be... I assume it's... Because they still look young.
Ish.
Like...
I mean, you can young them up a little bit. You can't do any, like, flashback stuff with them, but...
No. Because...
Like, you know, they've... Like, what? Finn Wolfhard has been in fucking It. Like, It Chapter 2.
He was in the Weezer
Ghostbusters
music video.
Really?
Yeah, he plays... I forgot the lead singer of Weezer, but they did a cover of a-ha's Take On Me, and it's like a young kid, like, band playing in a living room. It's really good.
Right.
It's something like typecast, like It.
Yeah.
It's fucking 80s fucking remake.
Yeah.
That
Ghostbusters.
It's
a film popularised in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's based around that time as well.
Well, you say that though, but like, what's the face 11? She's been in like some of the Godzilla films.
Yeah.
To a detriment, frankly. That last one, pointless. I don't know if she's been doing other stuff outside of that, but like she feels like the lead of this show, so it feels like she's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from like a real solid career. Like David Harbour's, obviously, he's got fucking shit flying at him from all over the place.
Red Guardian, Black Widow, and Hellboy. What did I watch?
And he was in the Suicide Squad.
Yes, that's where I was going. Yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah, which I didn't clock him in that at all until I saw someone point that out, and I was like, apparently it is. Bloody hell.
Yeah. I completely forgot he was in it.
He's in it for like 30 seconds. Like, you'd be forgiven for not noticing him in that. But I want to know how sort of like, because like there was a lot of intrigue around the first couple of seasons about what is this like alternate dimension and these bad guys and stuff. And now it's sort of like, oh, okay, well, it's like a giant world-ending one, and like, is it going to be more about what is going on in their lives, more sort of like governmental stuff, you know? So like, if Hopper is in Russia, like, how's all that going to work? Is he going to be there for the whole season? Is he going to come back? I imagine Eleven's going to just teleport over there or whatever and bust him out.
Should get Kong to go and get or Godzilla.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he just calls him up on their echolocation device or whatever. But like with like Will and stuff, like he's like infected with like weird like other dimensional slug monsters. Yeah. So like, is it going to be not so much sort of like messing about in the Upside Down and what the hell's all that about? It's going to be like, oh shit, now shit's starting to come through into their world, and sort of dealing with it a bit more that way, rather than,
well,
you know, sort of like secret government offices and all that sort of stuff.
I watched a video it's a few months ago now on YouTube, and it's talking to the Duffer brothers about Strange Things, and it's really cool because they actually went out and bought like all like the real old like, analog pads and stuff to make. So they've got like the decks and stuff from like the 70s and the 80s, and that's how they make the music and stuff. So it's all made on like genuine, original, really old equipment. But the gist I got from the discussion they were having is if they wasn't happy with the direction it was going, they'd wrap it up and finish. That's
kind of what was it? It was the showrunner for David Damon Lindelof, is it? For Watchmen?
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but when he's just said, I don't think I can carry on with this, well, they said, well, we're not going to do it then.
Yeah.
Like, I get the feeling it's that sort of vibe.
That's what I'd like to think.
No, we're not going to do it if you're not going to be sort of steering the ship. And from the impression that I get from, you know, interviews I've seen with people when they've been talking about, like, Netflix picking up a show and stuff, they're very hands off. So they're not going to come in and say, well, actually, if you do it like this, like if they say we still want to make it and we want to do it in our own way, and they go, well, it's one of our most popular shows, go for it.
Yeah, that's how you get good.
What to do with.
You get good stuff. Like, I mean, Suicide Squad's a perfect example of what you can achieve when just leave the fucking people to do the job.
Yeah, I mean, we probably should talk about that as we've both watched it now.
Yeah.
So Stranger Things 2022.
Very much look forward to
watch this space when we're all going to get a chance to have a crack at that. But yeah, we did both watch the Suicide Squad, the 2021, not the 2016 Suicide Squad, which was trash.
Fucking shite, mate.
But this,
Very good.
we've only talked about it briefly because we kind of I think you enjoyed it probably a bit more than me.
I honestly thought it was very good.
So did I, and surprisingly good. But I think maybe it's because I've been burnt so many times by these Warner Brother films. I'm just sort of like, it can't be good because I just don't trust them to make a good film. I think it's going to be one of these things that on a rewatch, I'll be like, oh, this actually does still kind of hold up after multiple watches, and you can't really pick it apart that much. But non-spoilers side, is it worth it for people who maybe
100%.
haven't had the opportunity? Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best DC movies. Stretching back, not just the DC EU, but all DC films. I think it's probably one of the best. And I'd say it's better than some of the Marvel films as well, if I'm perfectly honest. It's not like Infinity War or Endgame where you walk away and you go, I can't believe they pulled that off. Like, there's on paper, Infinity War and Endgame should not have worked. There's too many characters, too many branching things and that. But in the hands of people who know what they're doing, they did a very good job. And that's the case here with James Gunn. And it's not the best film I've ever seen, and it's definitely not. And there's still flaws, but it's so fun and so enjoyable. You just go, no, fucking whatever, man. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Like, it's a lot more fun. The jokes land. The performances are interesting. The characters are good. Like, they just haven't picked people to then just immediately kill off again. I'd say that it's probably it was. I was expecting it to be quite good because it's James Gunn and he obviously made Guardians. But I can't help but feel that the only reason that they got him is because they tried to emulate Guardians with the first Suicide Squad, failed miserably, and they just went, you've done this, and we were trying to do what you did. Can you just come in and just do it?
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that if he had have gone with the Warner Brothers route rather than the Disney route or with the Marvel route, that first Suicide Squad probably could have been up to this sort of standard.
Definitely,
rather than if you went in and did Guardians instead. But that would be the trendsetter then, because then you'd have the cool music and stuff like that, rather than the first one where they just went, here's a popular song.
Here's a load of music.
Here's a popular song. It's just for no reason at all. Here's Queen.
The none of Suicide Squad was good. Like, even Margot Robbie, this Harley Quinn, her Harley Quinn in that film's not great. It's only really Birds of Prey where it feels a bit more Harley.
I really don't like Birds of Prey.
And it's not a good film. Don't get me wrong.
I wanted to like it, but
it's got its moments. But again, it's another Warner Brothers film that's too many people sticking their fingers in the superhero pie, so to speak. And this is a lot more hands off. Harley's a lot more hands off in this as well. She's used a lot more sparingly, but in a good way. The moments she has hit a lot more. Her performance as Harley is just genuinely a lot better. I like Idris Elba. I think he's really, really good in it. I even liked Cena. He was good in it.
I thought that their chemistry between the two of them were, I want to watch them go off on do their own missions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they just really don't like each other, and they're just trying to one up each other constantly. I thought Idris Elba was, I'd say he's the standout for me. he just seemed to he just went in and just gave it his absolute all. John Cena seems to be like, he's just like, this is the best fun I've ever had.
It is,
that
but
seems to show.
It's very much following, for me, with Cena, because I'm not a massive John Cena fan anyway, but he seems to be following the Batista and the Rock kind of route, where it's the strong guy, he's a little bit funny, a little bit silly, but he gets the job done. And I don't know, I think they could have developed him a little bit more, and they did towards the end. Obviously, spoilers.
Definitely. I'd say, when we did get towards the end of it, it was a lot of that made a lot more sense, and it paid off a lot more, I think.
Although I did like the jungle seed with when they're like out, Peacemaker and Bloodshot are trying to like outdo each other. And it's just like Bloodshot. Sorry, I forgot his fucking name. Bloodsport. Fucking hell, Bloodshots from fucking Valiant comics. Anyway, when they're trying to outdo each other, and then I forgot what he actually says now. And Peacemaker's like, yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and I'm going to get to that because I disagree completely.
No. But what I mean is Idris Elba's part in that, and it's like, yeah, but obviously when it looks cool as fuck, and he's just like turns aside, he's like, fuck, it does look cool.
Yeah,
I like that bit.
I watched that scene today because I was watching something else where someone pointed out that there's another character in there that I hadn't noticed, and went back in and watched it. And as I did, I got to that bit when they're in the jungle, and I was like, oh, I'll just watch this bit again, because it is a great scene. Don't get me wrong. It's just I've got one obvious, not a real problem, but actual problem with this thing. But he does it. Like John Cena's Peacemaker does a thing, and then Idris Elba's like, "Let's just show it off." And it's like, yeah, but it's all right to show off if what you're doing is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
And Idris Elba's like, "Fuck, it is as well." it's like, yeah, that's really good writing. Like, it just genuinely, like, their whole like dynamic was really good. The rest of the squad also well cast, well done.
Rick Flag was very good in this one as well.
Well, he wasn't just sort of like, just sort of like awful military guy. He was just sort of like, I've got mates, and it's not explicitly said that these are actually like Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad are connected.
I wouldn't imagine they are.
But you've still got the same people playing the same characters. And they seem to have pre-existing relationships beyond what the film has shown,
because of the animosity for Suicide Squad 2016. I could see Warner Brothers just going, what? There wasn't a 2016. We had about this is the only Suicide Squad film we've done.
I've got one piece of evidence that I would like to present to the court. So we'll go into the spoilers section.
Right.
We won't talk too long about this. But yes, spoilers. So we obviously start with the full crew of the squad, as has been shown in like all of the promo stuff and on all the trailers or whatever. So we've still got some of the older cast. So we've still got Harley, we've got Captain Boomerang, we've got Amanda Waller, we've got Flag, but Boomerang gets killed in like the first sort of 10-15 minutes. He just gets
pretty gruesomely as well.
Yeah, he just gets covered in shrapnel and then cut up by a helicopter. But the way that Harley reacts to that, where she's like, Boomer! And then he gets killed. How would she even give a shit if she didn't know him because they'd already done the Suicide Squad stuff beforehand? Send me that.
Well, easy. They've done missions together before. Doesn't mean that film existed.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. All right.
He's got the same fucking outfit on.
Suicide Squad 2016. Rick Flag already knows Amanda Waller. Where was the film that presented that came before that one?
Well, they're going to make that into a TV show, so we'll get to that.
We are getting a Peacemaker TV show, though.
Yeah, I already knew that going in, though, so it wasn't a surprise that he wasn't dead at the end of it. I mean, I'm surprised that they shot him through the neck.
I assumed it was going to be a prequel or something. That's what I assumed it was going to be. Obviously, I don't think it will be now.
I mean, but when we got to the post-credit stuff and then it was like they're in hospital, I was like, oh, so he is still alive, so that's what the show's going to be about. Cool, that's fine. But I mean, that was just, it was nice to know that it was going to be a sequel rather than a prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the whole sort of beach landing thing was a bit, because I thought initially, like, I don't know who Savant is, like, what's his name, Michael Rooker?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was super interesting. Like, he's got this like perfect. So I was like, is he kind of like a dead shot kind of thing? You know, he just knows things.
Well, it seems to be.
Given his name, is he like precognitive? You know, can he sort of see what's going to happen? And then when it got to, you know, they sort of assembled all the mission, and they got all the team, and then everyone jumps in the water, and then they're having like the assault on the beach, and then he sort of stands up and it's like, you know, Nathan Fillion's character's got killed. The guy who betrayed at the start gets his face blown off. Mongol's wife or daughter, or whoever the fuck Mongal is, just killed and burnt alive. Sure.
She's the daughter of a
shot to death
ruler, isn't she? Like a kind of like Thanos, the Mad Titan kind of.
Yeah, but Mongol is like he I'm sure that in the Superman Returns game, like the first thing you do is fight Mongol.
Yeah, he's fucking
like if you can
super
fight
strong.
Superman, just you know, a helicopter's landing on you, shouldn't have killed her, but whatever.
That's her though. I don't know what her powers are specifically.
Well, but let's just assume that they're not useless. Otherwise, why the fuck would she be on the team?
She's not pilot, that's for sure.
No. But everyone gets killed, and then Savant sort of he stands up and he's just sort of like viewing the situation, and then like he turns and fucks off into the sea. But what I thought was going to happen was like everyone had just been killed, and he would just be like, it was like a like he was just like, right, if we go in like this, you're going to get shot, and you're going to get killed, and then don't jump on that heli. And he would like talk them through, like, you know, Edge of Tomorrow, kind of like Tom Cruise way. So he was like, I know everyone's going to get killed in this certain way, but then they just went. No, he just swam into the sea and got his head exploded. So I was like, okay. I was expecting something a bit cleverer than actually happened.
He was the Slipknot of this film, where they need their example.
They needed to prove, but who were they proving it to?
The rest of the team,
who were on the beach, who definitely weren't looking out to sea at this guy. Well, there's one guy swimming away when there's 1,000 soldiers shooting at him.
I don't know why they didn't. The guy who betrays them.
Yeah.
Why didn't she blow his head up?
Good question. It didn't make any difference. Before she could have opened that box, they'd already shot him.
What was his end goal there? So say they he brought
them all.
Yeah, he'd obviously double crossed them and said like, I'll bring you these guys, and he's done that. But say they don't shoot him. And they're like, right,
well, it's just going to blow all their heads off.
She's going to kill him anyway. So
yeah, straight away.
That's the fucking point.
Unless they had like a bomb deactivating gadget or something.
I doubt that. I fucking doubt that.
It seemed like a very sort of like just shoehorned in. Let's get a reason to get them all, and let's give them a reason as to why they're all going to get shot at suddenly or something. But I did like the fact that was like they were all just expendable, like. This team over here, like Alpha Team, they're the ones that are actually going to go in and do the things, like with the actual main players.
Which you would think Red Flag would be over there. Considering he actively works for Waller.
Yeah, maybe he had to like sort of just stop people from just immediately just going F up this and just running away straight away.
Then again, Waller does say to the other team, doesn't she? She's like, you need to go find Flag. So it's not like she left him for dead or anything.
Yeah, but if he'd have just been killed on that beach, I don't think she wouldn't have lost any sleep over it. I mean, you can always find another soldier guy to step in and do his job, I guess.
She's a heartless bitch.
Yeah, very much so.
She needed her own Agatha theme.
When they're like Alpha Flight comes into... Sorry,
Alpha Flight? That's fucking X-Men.
Yeah, it is, sorry.
The Canadian X-Men.
Yeah, like when the Alpha Team, like with Bloodsport and King Shark, brilliant.
Yeah. I didn't realise that was Sylvester Stallone either.
Neither did I. I genuinely didn't until it was like... it was probably like a press junket or something like that, where it was just like they're all stood on the red carpet or whatever, and I was like, Sylvester Stallone, what the fuck was he doing there? And then I looked at him, he was like, the voice off, and I was like...
That makes loads of sense now.
Yep, brilliant.
But the thing is, though, like, when it came up, because it says, like, his name comes up at our credits again, but in the opening credits, and his name comes up, and so he said, she goes, Sylvester Stallone's in it. And I went, yeah, he's like like the main guy for the Ravages, isn't he? And she's went, oh yeah. And then it was only like so far. I went, wait a minute, no. That's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know who he is, but obviously,
I didn't. Through the whole film, I didn't notice it until it was literally after the fact that I sort of was like, oh yeah, of course it is. But like when they do their main assault on the jungle, and this is the biggest problem I've got with this film, and it's not a real problem as in, it didn't make any sense. It was like it doesn't make any sense if I get to that, but it's not like it was like poorly written or like really janky or whatever. So Bloodsport and Peacemaker have this amazing like one-upsmanship, like clearing all the enemy soldiers out of the like Ratcatcher gets a little bit of play in it, and King Shark eats a guy, but they progress. And I watched this again, like this scene, just before we started this, because it really, really bothered me. So they sort of like slowly but surely sort of like make their way up the camp and then kill everyone along the way. No one saw them. Like, no one heard the screams when one of them was being set on fire.
There is one person, because he opens the thing and points the gun and they shoot him.
Well, no, there's a guy.
But that's like towards the end of the thing.
Yeah, but he opens it and he's just got his knob out for some reason, and then Peacemaker just sort of shoots him. But I might record it after this and send it to you so you see exactly what I mean. But there's a bit where like Bloodsport like garrots someone, and Peacemaker uses that axe and then like slits someone's throat, and then as he's walking up, it's like a guy like injured, and he just goes stab. Brilliant, love that. But then it's panning along, and then Bloodsport comes to 3 people, one of which who was looking in that direction.
I don't remember.
And it's like, sorry, you didn't see 3 people all just get killed directly in front of you. And then, so bear in mind, like, King Shark eats a guy, he screams, Bloodsport sets 2 of them on fire. On fire, they scream. And there's a guy in the bath, just up there, who's just having a little bath. And when his mate across the road gets shot straight through the chest, he doesn't notice until Bloodsport shoots the chair, like the leg of the table, and his fan falls in. Brilliant. Like, creatively deaths in this. Amazing.
Yeah, I think it's because it's more for the comedy aspect.
It is, and that's fine. And I could have forgiven all of that if when they got into the tent at the end, I mean, like, stick them up, and Flag's there, and it's like, oh, no, we're mates or whatever. And she's like, why didn't any of my guards alert me?
Yeah.
Why didn't any of you guards alert you? They all should have been on alert like that. The second a giant shark ate someone, they should have been like, well, that's unusual, isn't it? That is the whole thing of that. It's
I agree. I do agree.
Beautifully choreographed. I think like it's like the way that they're killing it, like the compression bullets and whatever. Genius. And again, that like back and forth that they've got, the one-upsmanship. That whole scene is really good for that. Except we're supposed to then be believing that they managed to like stealth kill their way through this camp, and yet no one heard.
Yeah.
How could they not have? How could they not?
Not with some of the deaths, obviously.
It makes no sense. But that is my only one criticism of the film, and it's not because there's actually a serious problem with it at all.
Also, one of my favourite comedy moments of the film. It's not even that funny, but I genuinely like laughed out loud watching it, and I was giggling a little bit while I was thinking what I was going to say for the next bit. But spoiler towards the end. I don't know if we're going like too spoiler heavy with stuff, so I'm just going to say when King Shark falls from the place, and he gets up and he eats the soldiers and stuff, and then he cuts back to like Harley and everyone, and he walks over and he's just eating a head, and he's just going. He's just walking over waving, and it just really made me laugh.
Hello, friends.
Oh, new dumb friends.
There was like when Harley, like when she meets like the El Presidente or whatever, and she's just like, oh my god, this guy's amazing, and then they get laid. She's like, oh god, I'm going to get married. It's going to be amazing. And then he's just like, yeah, so we've got this, like, weird monster. So basically, anyone who pisses me off, I'll send them and all their families, and I'll just stick them in with the monster. And then he turns around and she just shoots him. That scared the life out of me. I was not expecting it at all. It's just bang. And she's just like, yeah, I've been with the Joker. Like, I know when this is not a good thing. Yeah. So it's easier if I just shoot you now and kill you. And I was like, brilliant.
It was very Harley.
It just sort of like, she was just like, oh, this looks like it could be a bit weird. Maybe I should just sort of back the fuck out of here. She's like, no, because that's not going to solve anything. If I shoot him and kill him, though, that doesn't happen anymore. And then just goes bang.
But
another thing that does bother me about that, she shoots him and then, like, holds the revolver in her other hand. That's just fired a bullet out of it.
It's going to be pretty hot.
It's going to be super hot.
Yeah, so but she's like, also fucking mental, so...
Well, then have a sizzle noise.
Look at all the...
just getting...
The fucking...
She's just going, oh, I had to kill you.
all the tasering she was taking.
Yeah, she got like a proper Black Widow kind of interrogation beating, didn't she?
I did like that, though, when she's, like, passed out. And then the guys turn around. And you just see it behind, and she's just like... in the background. That looked really cool.
I kind of like that sort of like John Wicky kind of rampage that she goes on. Yeah. She just pops those boots on and then just grabs a javelin and just starts murdering everyone.
I did like the stupid, like, it's like almost like Snow White style, like, like the beautiful nature stuff. Yeah,
I think I agree. I like that. I like the effect, but I don't know. I think it would have been better. Maybe it's just me, but like whenever she was killing someone, if that's how she saw the world, like, you know, like with the polka dot guy who just sees his mom everywhere, like that is, and they kept on playing into that, and then it was like, oh, it's a big monster. Well, no, it's not, it's your mom.
That's probably why they did it, though. Like,
not having two people.
That's probably how she's always seeing violence and stuff, but they show you the once because the joke with Polka Dot Man's mom is a lot funnier than seeing Harley seeing.
No, if that's the case, I'm okay with that.
I assume
I'd sacrifice that for the Polka Dot Mom stuff, because that was just fucking brilliant.
When this is like hitting the building, and it's like, "That's your mom." It just looks, it's just like.
But like, like those like polka dot things were just like they're just burning through everything.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get him up on the roof where Harley was and just unload into that thing's eye? I would have used him a lot better than I think Bloodsport did.
But I imagine that's why they
slingshot on his arm.
That's why they spoiler why he doesn't last. So because I mean, it went straight through his leg like with no fucking problem.
Exactly, but his death really did. It was telegraphed far too obviously, in my opinion. Like, it just panned straight out, and then it was just like Bloodsport, and then him there, and I was like, oh, he's going to get fucking squished, isn't he? And then it's just pow. So I mean, I don't mind them killing him off, like, in a jokey way, but like I've always just like with things like that when it's so obvious. If they were just sort of like doing him just like that same close up before they panned out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a superhero," and then it was just slam, and then it panned back, and he's like, "Oh God, well, never mind."
Like with Hulk and Loki, it's like, "I am a god." He's like,
perfect.
It's like, it came out of nowhere. Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely, perfect example. If they'd have just done that, he's like, "Ha," and then just smack.
Yeah,
I would have been like, "Oh wow, that's another great." I didn't see that coming at all. But in the same way, you know, like the Peacemaker, like double cross.
Yeah.
Like, didn't see that coming.
At least not with him, anyway. I wouldn't have put my money on it being Peacemaker, but.
Well, I don't know, because like, what is his whole deal?
Do one. Who?
Peacemakers.
He's
just like, you know, liberty and peace for all.
He's kind of just
at the expense of anything.
Yeah, he's just for the. It's I never like really watched a lot of Bad Batch, but it's a good soldier follows orders mentality.
Maybe, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he seems to be like a vigilante. He's sort of like a Batman-esque, but
he does bad things for the right reasons. Doesn't make them right, but.
No, but when he knows that this data that Waller wants to recover about the American government involvement in the project, he's not like, well, so what? So people have been tortured and executed for this thing just for the government's research, and now you want me to surely that should be like a crisis of faith for him. For maybe the orders aren't right, so maybe I shouldn't be following the orders. But instead, he just doubles down on it and just no, them's the rules.
Depends how you look at it. If you look at it as this is a way it's better to keep a secret to keep everybody else, to stop a war from breaking out and saving millions of lives, it's the lesser of two evils. Whereas Flag's fuck it, people deserve to know, at the cost of essentially maybe a war.
Yeah, and then he gets stabbed through the heart.
Mortal Kombat.
I like the fact that they went for a Mortal Kombat X-ray kill. So that way, I feel like that they've gone. There's definitely no way out of this.
No.
He was stabbed through the heart with a broken piece of tile or whatever. That went through the heart. He's definitely dead. You definitely can't walk away from that. And then the building fell over or whatever.
They where you get cyborg Flag, robot him up. I don't know if I don't think that character exists, but
no. I mean, maybe you could sort of
they'll probably turn around and it was a shape-shifting character. Yeah, it was just a character that could turn into somebody else.
But you saw through his chest though. You saw that it was a human heart that was stabbed.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was Flag. I mean, it obviously was. I'm just saying. They could turn around and go, I wasn't Rick Flag at all.
Yeah, one thing that's the reason for the Suicide Squad being there, that makes way more sense.
Yeah,
so it's just a Black Ops mission to just recover some shit that's going to be dirt on all of us, basically. Love it. And when they're there, it turns out there's a giant monster that's there, and then the giant monster escapes, and then the giant monster starts running rampage through the city and starts. It's those fucking Gazorpian things from Rick and Morty, basically. Why wasn't Superman there like that to stop that motherfucker?
He's
this isn't a Suicide Squad mission now. This is a giant monster attacking a civilian population.
This is a Justice League situation.
Why? I was expecting them to they were doing their best and fighting and whatever, and then he would finally get outside, and then you didn't even have to show him, just a red streak goes, and it just pierces the whole thing, and he just falls over, and it's just that's how much of a threat he'd be. If a javelin can stab that eye hole, and that was grim. That was all the rats jumping into the eye. Oh Christ!
Especially after he'd had the thing, and he just said I was happy, just floating in space, looking at the stars.
Yeah,
but I mean, I imagine it's more down to we don't have a Superman anymore at this moment in time.
Maybe, but there was a very good detachment though, which kind of meant just that there was no mention of Joker, there was no mention of Batman, there wasn't anything that they sort of relied a bit more heavily on. I mean, they mentioned Superman in the fact that Bloodsport shot him.
Yeah.
That I think that would have made it better though, if Superman had seen this, oh my god, giant monster, and then he saw that news report, and it was Bloodsport there shooting at him, and he just went, nah, he's got it.
Maybe
I don't want to get involved with that. Either he's going to shoot me again, or I don't want to save that guy, so I hope he gets killed.
No,
just sort of it's just a get up.
I mean, that's not really Superman's.
No, but it's just, again, it's just a funny thing, isn't it? Although I tell you what, I don't like is all the Bloodsport's guns all over him, because I like the fact that he's got all this sort of Kinder Egg stuff that you can just assemble and turn into a giant cannon or whatever. What I don't like though, and it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me, is that he pulls this thing off, and it's like an Isaac from Dead Space kind of gun. It's like in a handle. How can you properly aim with that? It just seems like a really weird design for
to kind of look different to a regular gun, I guess.
But I just don't get
I like the helmet though.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, but then he has to put it on and then take it off.
But we'll say,
if you're going to do the foldy helmet, just have it go back into the back of the suit.
Do you remember the Bootleg Universe Power Ranger short?
That
had the same helmet. Did the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
If I looked at it and went, Power Rangers did that. Well, Avi Arad, the director who made it, but remember the Black Ranger, and he like throws it round the room, like ding, 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 and then he gets his like.
I don't remember that. No,
Yeah.
I might have to watch that again.
Real good
that
short,
that
that
is.
is.
Sweet short. Yeah, yeah.
It's got James Van Der Beek in it out of Dawson's Creek.
And it's got Kate Seagal in it as well.
Yeah.
No, not Kate Seagal.
It is, isn't it?
No, that's the woman who voices bloody Leela in Futurama.
Oh no, it's definitely not this. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica, anyway.
It's a really good shot. Very good. Very good.
I might cue that up actually because that's really kind of cool. But yeah, I genuinely I think this is better than I was expecting. I think it's probably. I think you're right. It's better than Wonder Woman 84 without a doubt. It's funnier than Shazam.
Aquaman.
Yeah. This might be the best thing that they've made so far.
100%. It's definitely the best. I even say it's better than Wonder Woman. And I really liked Wonder Woman.
Tonally, though, it's a very different thing. Like, so if you look at it like a comedy sort of thing, it's no, I don't think they've made anything that comes close to it. But Wonder Woman was still, but it had a bit of a drop at the end. Wonder Woman, so maybe this is consistently over it. It is, it is a bit better.
It's very good.
But the things that the problems that I've got with it, they're just sort of like they're just not real problems.
They're not. They don't ruin the movie. It just
absolutely
goes
not.
Kind of, which is
it's
kind
just,
of.
So it's just someone going, "Oh, that's not very realistic." Is it?
Exactly. And you're also dealing with a film that's got a fucking 9-foot talking shark. So,
it's totally fine.
And the main boss is Patrick from SpongeBob. So.
What?
The villain, thingy.
Oh right.
I'm just saying, a pink starfish.
No, it was like
I was making it funny.
One of the generals of summer was like, he voiced SpongeBob, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like the guy who's like set all those birds on fire. Jesus.
The whole reason the Tinker is there, like, we need the Krabby Patty formula.
I would have much rather if this had turned into a giant SpongeBob episode.
Hey, I actually did see on IGN this is a couple of weeks ago now, scientists found a real life Patrick and a spongefish and a pink star together in the ocean. Yeah, they took a picture of it.
Or did they just go, let's just move him?
They may have put them together, obviously.
Oh no, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a squirrel with a helmet.
It's just clawing at it, just trying to get it off. But that'll do for Suicide Squad because it's a good film. So if you haven't seen it already, please do go and do so. It's also on HBO Max as well. So if you've got a subscription to that, it's already there for you.
No, it's at the cinemas as well. But Dan,
indeed,
we have to leave it there because it's extremely late where we are.
But Callum, I think we'll have to leave it there.
Sorry, I thought you were going to go on to something else. So I just wanted to jump ship.
I did have one other thing, but I wasn't going to. If I'm being honest, I'll tell you afterwards. Certainly, but don't you start coming in on my 200 episodes and tell me.
Big D. You got your lower third back.
Brilliant. I lost my steam halfway through that as well. Sorry, I'm very tired. I went to the gym for the first time in 5 years today, and I had a personal trainer whip the shit out of me, so I'm exhausted.
Literally.
Yeah. But health, hey. Callum, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, you're welcome. Please stay tuned for episode 201, which will be back to terrible form because Callum's taking back over again. But look out for episode 250 because this guy is going to be back on it again.
Maybe.
I'll be shredded by then. Maybe.
Depends if you survive.
Yeah, maybe. If I give up halfway through, then I'll just be as fat as ever. But there's other podcasts and videos and bits and pieces at www.podcastversusplayer. So thanks, everyone. They're on the lower thirds below. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, Z's.
Callum, check to make sure we're not sinking. What? How are we going to sink if there's a crack in the wood at the top, you dickhole?
I'll just check it. To the boobs. I heard a thing.
Yep, he's behind you.
Ah!
He did.
I am.
There. I see.
Oh, whoa!
Oh my
There's
God.
a big thing in the water.
I'm going to try and keep with him.
Ah! I got him in the face.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ah!
Oh, God. Oh, God, kill me. Quick, Callum, revive me, quick.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
Where I was last time. I'm still in the fucking boat. Where else would I